Hey, hi. Sorry to bother you. I just wanted to ask you, you know what that thing is? Up in the hills and down the valley, over the clouds and under the sea, on my computer monitor and inside your phone. Are those August upcoming indie games that I personally think look interesting? Oh no, watch out! There are two of them behind you! Is that Ledger Bound and Patriot Memoirs, who were supposed to come out this July? Looks like it's them. They did not come out in July, but do not cry for them. They'll be out in August 11 and August 6. Will they find their place in the new month lineup? Who knows? There's a new Chinese FMV mystery game and it looks pretty competent. But first, Sovereign Tower has some scrappy digital watercolor but make it grunge art, and I could do without the weirdly non-committal D&D affectation of it all, but this self-described round table management RPG intrigues me. And it looks weird enough to become someone's favorite game, even if it won't be a massive success. All the signs point to Sovereign Tower being a slightly higher budget, campaign-sized version of the Reigns game. These games were built on swiping left or right on cards, representing the decisions your ruler has to take to try and keep their reign chugging along. That always felt a little limiting, and the traditional multiple choice dialogue system of Sovereign Tower, which looks like what you'd find in a regular visual novel or RPG, sounds like the way forward to improve on the formula. I'm going to be honest though, I played so many of these games, I don't know if I want to play the one set in a tower. There's a Princess Maker-like game about growing mushrooms until they become girls, and then you become the mushroom girl, and then you can open a shop and you can become a boxer. That game is Mushroom Musume, and it's great. My point is that the bar for fantasy games where mostly you just make decisions is really high. What intrigues me about Sovereign Tower, why I haven't seen in a lot of these games, is this. Quote, if destiny doesn't go your way, keep turning back time, uncover secrets, and rewrite fate again and again. That's some time travel nonsense. And I mean that as a compliment. Sovereign Tower and its time travel bullshit come out in August 6. Or do they? Time travel. Speaking of time travel, the upcoming Rivage is, if you allow me to paraphrase its own product page, a time loop puzzle adventure game. These words activate me like a sleeper agent. I've also heard people call it the blueprints of 2026, which makes me yearn for that. Are they right? Quite possibly, yeah. But time travel, quote, solve environmental challenges that play with gravity, magnetism, and the very flow of time. There is also a very literal time loop at the center of the game. I probably should have wrote that in the actual. I'm sorry, but Blueprints doesn't have any back-of-the-box quotes like that. Just because it's on the Steam page doesn't mean it will be in the game, or that it will be good, of course, but it sure looks like Rivage is much more story-focused than the puzzle-first Blueprints. The setup, where a lone scientist wakes up with unclear memories on a space station with no trace of her colleagues, reminds me a lot of Tacoma, which has basically no puzzles. The promise that the narrative, quote, weaves scientific mystery with human vulnerability also gives me hope. Plus, the demo looks really promising. Rivage comes out on August 13. Lots of games come out on August 13, like Servant of the Lake. What is there to say about this game? I could start with Rusty Lake, but that wouldn't tell you a whole lot unless you also knew about the Rusty Lake series, and if you did, then I assume you'd also start chanting Rusty Lake, and then we would tell everyone about this beautiful relic of the escape the room genre, a subgenre of point-and-click adventures born out of the online flash game craze of the mid and late 2000s. But if we did that, everyone would know about Servant of the Lake, the somewhat anticipated sequel to a never-ending series of nice little point-and-click adventures that feel a lot more than just nice if you manage to fit all of them inside your brain at once. And if everyone knew about Servant of the Lake, then everyone would hear about it and go Rusty Lake, Rusty Lake, Rusty Lake, and then everyone who hears that would go Rusty Lake, and that would just create a feedback loop. It'd be a whole mess. Servant of the Lake comes out on August 13, but you haven't heard it from me. Evil School is, quote, an anti-bullying FMV game. Does that sound like fun to you? No? What if I told you that the game description on Steam includes the words, "The moment of slay and judgment has arrived"? Slay and judge is a hell of a tagline. I'm not sure how to square that with the supposedly anti-bullying message and the notion that the studio has, quote, painted a cruel and dark picture of school life. I have a feeling there might be a language barrier here. For the rest, it's an FMV game, a video game based on full motion video. You watch a video of actual people acting out a video game plot, which is always funny, and sometimes you make a choice. It's a choose your own adventure game or a visual novel, a VN, but the V is upped all the way to full video, while the N of novel is a vestigial organ. Oh well, we all have to make sacrifices. Evil School comes out on August 14. Did you know that visual novels are only a couple years older than FMV adventure games? It's true. Moving on, what about a visual novel set in dog hell? If Puppergeist didn't look so cute, it might be the saddest game on this list. It may still be. It still gets a pass because of the hand-drawn puppy ghosts and the Halloweeny autumn palette witch, and her hair looks like a Cocker Spaniel's ear. The preview images look adorable, and I can't imagine the rest of the game being lesser. Art direction is not like story and gameplay. Usually you can tell if a game will look good from just screenshots and the trailer. Seeing the game in movement also reveals the mechanical twist behind this otherwise standard visual novel. Normally, visual novel with a twist is enough to play alarm bells in my brain. Almost every visual novel with a twist I've ever played is either a terrible game or a fairly standard visual novel. I don't know where Puppergeist falls on the not like the other VNs spectrum, but I know the twist. Rhythm challenges, as the game's Steam page calls them. Can these seemingly superficial twists carry Puppergeist to success? Probably not, but it shouldn't stop it from being a good visual novel. We'll see how Puppergeist does on August 16. The Witch's Bakery looks a little janky in the demo and the videos, and especially when the bakery owner moves around her witchery establishment, but elsewhere the animations are really neat, especially in the cutscenes. These parts in particular remind me of Kiki Delivery Service, which, let's be honest, is 80% of the reason I'm including The Witch's Bakery in this list. You're a witch in a bakery. I don't know if you fly, but I guess there's gotta be a cat in there somewhere. I mean, just look at this game. Obviously, there's a cat in there somewhere. Oh, and also you enter people's hearts to learn what problems they have, and then there's lighting block puzzles. I don't think that was in the movie. I guess we'll find out by rewatching Kiki Delivery Service. And I guess I could keep an eye on The Witch's Bakery too, which comes out on August 20. False Alarm seems like a little silly 2D stealth game with simple cute animation and a little more style than most, but so did Gunpoint, and I'm not about to let a potential Gunpoint slip by me again. 2D stealth is not a common genre, but I don't know if I've ever played a bad one. I've played just 3, I think, Gunpoint, Mark of the Ninja, and Monaco, and the demo for Monaco 2, and they're all good. Maybe False Alarm will be too. Not really much else to say on this one, I think. It seems to be quite small, but hey, so was Gunpoint. I really should replay Gunpoint. You really should play Gunpoint if you haven't already. It's like an hour long and it's great. You'll wish it was longer. Sorry to put False Alarm under so much pressure. It comes out on August 20 and who knows, maybe it will be great. How to Kill a Fly is the third game coming out on August 20, but that's fine because this one is super weird. I'll read you some of the quotes. You are a corporate flesh object with no way to speak on your own, trying to pose as a human by mimicking what others people say. others people. Well then, that's a pitch. But it's literally from the game's Steam page. It's a marketing line. Here's another marketing line. A puzzle immersive sim based on talking and responding to people. When I read that, I knew I was going to play eventually, and then I kept reading, and I think this might be my favorite of the bunch. In How to Kill a Fly, you're a corporate fresh object that can copy speech from NPCs and regurgitate it onto others to progress. It's set in a cyber puke environment, which of course is, quote, the shadow of a future vision of prominent tech CEOs. This may sound like mad rambling, and I assume it's meant to be, at least a bit, but I feel like I understand what they mean. This looks like the worst possible version, the shadow, of an impossible idea of the future that is very popular with certain modern tech sector magnates. It's the cool future meme, where a guy looks at the near post-apocalypse of a cyberpunk world and says, wow, cool future, except that guy is the richest man in the world. It's Pamelacki's military contractor company making Game Boys out of spare drone parts. At last, we created the Tormentor's Nexus, from classic sci-fi novel Don't Create the Tormentor's Nexus. That kind of stuff. The game seems to have chosen to represent cyberpuke by making everything dark, giving it all a bright green outline, and turning polygon counts way down. It looks ugly, but not in a rotten, data-mashed, glitched-out Half-Life custom server way, like Cruelty Squad before it. How to Kill a Fly looks like it was born in a sick world and it knows it, and there's nothing it can do about it. If games could die, this one would ask you to bury it with a gun. Ultra Pool is like pool, but ballatrode. Ballatrified? Ballatrede. Balladro. I'm tired of the Baratro-like genre due to no fault of the genre itself. It's mostly because I had to play a bunch of them when I was writing guides for bad websites who severely underpaid me. I don't think I've gained anything by that experience, not even a little bit of trauma from economic instability. I already had that, but I think I'm slightly more qualified than other random internet people when I say, Pool makes a lot of sense for this sort of game. Plus, video game pool is a whole different game, separate from actual pool, in a way that online poker never really was. Online poker is more or less what Balatro is based on, and it's just poker. PC pool has much more vibrant designs to represent it. It's a genre made almost entirely of mediocre flash games, but it's competing against online gambling, so it's hard to do worse. I'm very excited to see how Ultra Pool does, and I'm afraid I'll have to wait until August 25. And that's it. Every interesting video game coming out this August. Don't you dare release an interesting game this August if it's not on the list. If it's not on the list, it either won't be good or it won't come out in time. And if I jinx anyone, well, maybe they shouldn't have crossed me. Good night, video games.